What's up, everyone, and welcome to Up and Out. I have the advocate's Christopher Wiggins here, and he's always keeping us informed of all of the political happenings and how they intersect with LGBTQIA culture, Black culture, womanhood, and so much more. So it's so great to have you, Christopher.
Thanks for having me back.
All right, so we're about to see where politics intersect with social media. So for those of us who don't spend our days online, tell my viewers who or what Libs of TikTok is and why are they in the news?
Yeah, so Libs of TikTok is the name of a Twitter account, or X account, as I guess we're calling it these days, of someone named Haya Rychek. She is a former real estate agent who has made it her life's mission to target the LGBTQ community online by amassing a very large following on her accounts. And so what she does is focus the attention of those she considers liberals or the LGBTQ community by posting something on her account that deals with those people, and then having her minions essentially take that information and then they attack them online rhetorically, and in some cases have led to some bomb threats. So what's happening now is that she targeted the Department of the Interior spokesperson, Tyler Cherry, who is a gay man, and basically posted just a photograph of him looking fabulous in his official portrait. Of course, she then added some language to a follow-up tweet that questioned whether the Biden administration was done hiring quote-unquote weirdos. And then the spokesperson started to receive a lot of hatred online just for existing, just for being. He didn't write anything. He didn't bring any attention upon himself. It was just because she happened to see him, didn't like the way he looked, and thought, you know what, we're going to put some attention on him. And that's what happened.
I mean, that is just awful. Before we continue, do you mind telling my audience what is the Department of the Interior? What does it do? What is his role there?
So the Department of the Interior monitors things like land use and things like that. They deal a lot with the national parks and other monuments and other things along those lines. So for the Department of Interior, Mr. Cherry is one of the senior spokespeople who speaks on behalf of Secretary of Interior Deb Haaland.
And it's the reason why I wanted you to describe that is because, Cherry is doing great work for our economy, for our nation. I'm pretty sure that whatever he is doing with those parks and with our national monuments, it's an important job, and it's probably a very thankless job. Now, does Libs of TikTok target government employees often, Christopher?
Well, as far as I understand it, this might be the first time that Libs of TikTok has directly gone after a low-level government employee in this way. Haya Rychek, the person who runs the Libs of TikTok account, does frequently write transphobic screeds about Admiral Rachel Levine, who is the Assistant Secretary of Health for the United States and one of the first transgender woman to be appointed to that position and to have that role. So Haya Rychek does often write about transgender people, but she tends to focus more on schools and hospitals that provide gender affirming care and other institutions like that for the most vitriol that she spews when she posts about people and particularly people in the LGBTQ community online.
Is she doing this for attention, or do you believe that she really believes what she is saying? Because, in this day and age, there's a lot of people talking and spilling transphobic hate and LGBTQI hate and Black hate and so much more. And they don't really even mean it. You meet them in person and they aren't on any of that. At least front facing. You know, we call that Twitter fingers, Christopher. That's what we call that, Twitter fingers. I'm just curious. Is this a case of Twitter fingers, or does she really believe what she is putting out there to the world?
You know, she gave an interview with, I can't believe we're citing him, but with Tucker Carlson
Ah,
before he was fired from Fox News, in
mhm.
which she essentially, explained where she came from. She essentially, during the COVID times, found herself with too much time on her hands, like many a far right extremist did at the time, and was looking at things online and got upset by some of the posts on TikTok that she saw by liberals who she thought were being ridiculous in some way or the other, hence the name Libs of TikTok. And she claims that she just wants to repost those videos and hold a mirror up to society.
You know, a lot of the times we find that spewing hate does make a lot of people money, and they're as committed until that money stops.
So the White House said that no one should be targeted simply for being themselves, that it's cruel and unacceptable, and that the administration believes in their core principles that out of many, we are one. And so, with that, they said that Tyler is an invaluable member of the administration who continues to deliver for the Department of Interior and the American people. And so, the White House had previously not commented about Libs of TikTok before, but it seems that as the rhetoric really does continue to be dialed up, that the White House and the Biden administration are really taking a stance against this kind of online bullying.
I mean, you know, I do think that it's time that our government catches up to the times. And, you know, the times are social media. I do believe that, you know, there is a lot to be said about online bullying. You know, I feel like we're still studying what that looks like, as social media is still fairly new. We're talking about something that hasn't been around or available to the general public for 2 decades yet. So we're still learning the impacts and effects of that. So I am happy that the administration did say something, because somebody should not be targeted, you know, especially like you said, someone who is considered a lower level employee. And I don't even like saying that, Cherry, just so you know. I don't even like saying that, because every employee counts. But if we're just talking about your everyday person that makes shit happen, you know, I don't think that he should be targeted because he is gay. That's crazy. And because he is expressing himself online and got his earring in and all that, I'm like, do you? And it's interesting to me that she kind of like, this woman, I don't remember her name, you know, found the time to go and find him. Something we often say, Christopher, is that a lot of the times the people that we bash, you know, the people that a lot of people bash, there's something about them that you really admire, and you're mad because they're just living it out loud. You can't stand to see someone living their truth out loud, because there's a truth inside of you that you just haven't come to terms with yet. And I'm not saying gay. I'm talking about truths in general. When you see somebody happy, there's always some snake somewhere trying to bring somebody else down. So, you know, thoughts to that woman. But anyway, what is her ethnicity, if I may ask? I am curious to know her ethnicity.
So well, first of all, she's an Orthodox Jew, and so which is the part that really kind of blows my mind, because she comes from a group of people who have been marginalized and persecuted in awful ways through history, and to
Literally.
peddle in this kind of hatred just strikes me as really remarkable for someone with that background. But what I think is going to happen is she will find herself continuing to deny that she is the reason that bomb threats are happening at schools. But it's although we can't find causality, there are moments where she focuses on a school district, and then a day later that school district receives bomb threats. So putting two and two together, one can say that one thing happened after something else happened, although one can't make a positive connection.